Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It is Thursday, and lots of fun numbers. Economic numbers in the sense of labor. In the GBP, gross domestic product, GDP, I should say that right with the right letters. Gross domestic product, as you can see here on, let's see, where's the J4X? Why are you hiding? There you are. You can see here the dollar seems to be losing strength. The odd part is that it's the, last I looked, it's still having problems with the euro. Cable and the Swiss are showing strength over it, and vice versa. And what we have up on the screen, let's see what we have out there. What is that? Let's move that up a little bit like so, and just adjust it so it sees better, or we can see it better. There it is right there. You can see how the stock market didn't seem to see the numbers as bad. They popped it up a little. We're flat now. We were as much as like 50 points or 60 points lower late last night, and this morning we were like 30-40 points. Now it's just kind of cruising along, so we'll just go back to the currencies like so. And there is the Swiss right there, and Chicago Quant. You can see it's playing with that little descending channel that we talked about yesterday or the day before, one or the other. You can see it right there, and there it shows the strength, that it's much stronger against the dollar because it's going down. There's less Swiss francs to the dollar, so it makes that stronger. And then let's see, where do we go from here? You see the strength there, but at the same time, let's just take a quick look at the euro. The euro is kind of, whereas I got the cable is above the weekly number, and I see, I think it's still on the daily buy. Yeah, it's still showing some strength in there. Let's put it up on there, and then on Chicago Quant. Let's see, where is it at? Right there. You can see all the green there on the J4X. So it is trying to lift. There's no doubt about that. And then keyword there was try. And there you go. Now you're really starting. Oh, okay, yeah, it's still in the daily buy, and the news out really has jacked it even more. I would like to see the weekly get going in a more productive way. And then so that's the. It's nice to see the euro join in compared to the way it has not been joining in. And a lot of people want to jump on the euro. They talk about it here a lot, looking for opportunity to get into that. I would just like to see it get into the weekly buy. Dailies lead to weeklies. You never know. We still have tomorrow. And then you can see here over on the cable, where the cable is cleanly through all week and doing the same thing, showing lots of strength there. So we're seeing buying, but we're not seeing a lot of buying. But we are seeing buying in the pair side of the currencies, but not the dollar. They're obviously selling out the dollar a little bit, and we're seeing some action in gold and silver. It's trying to lift also at the same time. Why don't we show you that, because that has been the kind of like the odd dilemma of it all. Let's see, where is it at? I think we have to go down, don't we? Yes, we do. We have to go down onto the second screen. So let me do that. If I can find my mouse for it. There it is. And there is silver. And let's show you what silver looks like in our work. Right there. You can see the silver's pressing up. Love to see this weekly get going here. And now, whereas gold closing a daily buy last night, and it's been showing for the last couple of days that it's trying to get going here, and then finally a little pop there. These metals really have an issue trying to get into action, get going. They really do. There's too much pressure on them by the central banks to sell them. So it makes it very hard. How does a mutual fund, how does a dozen mutual funds, how does, especially when gold is like, 3% of a portfolio, 5% of a portfolio, 2%, it's not exactly a major part of it. You'd have to have thousands of mutual funds get involved, and hedge funds and so forth. It would take thousands of them to join in, and they're not really there to, they're not most funds are not a gold or silver fund. They're just an inflation factor. So yeah, they step up, they pick up a little bit. More than likely they're probably buying things like Newmont, the stocks, and trying to collect the dividend so they can get at least some yield out of it. Whereas if they buy the metals, there's no yield there. They're just holding on to metal. And so since paper, gold seems to be a paper product to begin with, why not buy the stock versus, the actual metal itself? All right, and so that's where we are. We got the euro moving up with it. We got the cable moving up with it. It all seems to be the dollar back in filling at the moment, and at the same time we're in a weekly buy in that. We can take a look at that real quick on the ETF. Let's do that. Let's jump over to there and just look at the ETF. And the weekly is trying to dip down, and we are 2 days in a sell in that thing. So okay, I thought we were in a buy in that too, which was driving me crazy. I don't really watch the ETF. I don't really watch the dollar index. I watch the currencies. And so you can see it on the spreadsheet, 2 days in a daily sell and 2 weeks in a weekly buy. But here you go. It is right. Where's that button? There it is. And you can see right here, the weekly is dipping down now. We're getting that pressure. And maybe we'll stay inside this big channel in here. Or, and I guess that's where the players that follow the dollar index will be watching that support area there. So you got a little room to bring it down and a little room to bring up the other products. And that's always a positive there. You want some longevity. You want some run. You want a consistency, not to give up. Now let's jump over to, after looking at the three majors, what we do is we drift over to the Turkish Lira just to see what's going on there. Sometimes I think it tells us a story about the overall currency market. I have seen the Canadian and a few particular pairs trades really pay attention to it, which is kind of interesting. So let's just take a look at the Turkish Lira. On the spreadsheet, the fact check spreadsheet, what's that, line 17, we are 2 weeks in a sell, but we are 2 days in a buy. So 2 weeks in a sell, but 2 days in a buy. And I believe we've been flirting with the weekly buy all week long. Let's check it out over here. Right there. And you can see that right there. It's just been flirting with that weekly buy. And now today they're driving it back down into the sell on the daily. So after 2 days, again, this thing is holding up. That shows you that weakness of the dollar. And that's one of the things I find interesting. And then what we do is we look at it also in the euro persuasion. So we go down and we look at the euro against the Turkish lira. Right there. Now this seems to be much more informative about the future direction. Again, in a daily buy for a few days, and then now it's flirting with its daily sell. And notice the weekly has not been able to get up into the weekly buy, whereas in the dollar side of it, it was and is, and at the same time, it's not surviving. You can see here we're pushing back into daily sells again. This thing has done its job. It climbed up to those little yellow dots that we've been watching for right there. It climbed up there. I guess it was it here? Or got close to it. I guess we were looking for it to get to the 9, or was it the 879 area? That's what we were looking for. And we got up to the 8, well, we got up to the 879 area. The dot, oh no, the dot is the 888 area, that's what it is. And so we've flirted with that area a few times, and we get very close to it and stall, get very close to it and stall, and maybe just one more, and maybe if they don't take out this low, then the next move is unfortunately up to those dots and through them. That's what we keep on thinking, is if they break out through those dots, we're going into the 9s aggressively. All right, from here we slide over to Canada. Canadian, the loonie, yes. And you can see here, a second day now in a sell, but we're in a weekly buy now for a while. So 2, 4, 6, 7 full weeks. You can see that on line 20. Right, where's that? Line 20 right there. 7 weeks in a buy and just 1 day in a sell. Now we are on a second day of the sell. So that pressure is on. Yeah, I noticed no one's talking today. I know that. How you doing, Janos? Getting ready for that next vacation? Is there a next vacation? Isn't that the tradition of Europeans? Summertime is vacation time. It is. It's a quiet day. We got 6 watchers. It's very quiet. You have no more vacations left? Okay. Well, I hope your last holiday was a good holiday. You do courses. Excellent. Excellent. Expanding that mind. There's nothing wrong with that. Additional skills. Yep, that's part of the game, isn't it? What did you think of the GDP? Did you have an opinion on that? The Fed made a lot of talk yesterday, but didn't do anything particular. Maybe that's why we're seeing even more weakness. And you know, what do you think of these metals trying to lift one more time? One more time of strength in the metals. That's what it's trying to do. Oh, really? 2019? Ah, okay. How's you know, not much. You know, the stocks moved on the upside. Let's take a peek at them. You can see the major stock indices had moved up off the news, right? I guess it's like right here. There was the news right there. Right there. There's the, where's the news at? Right there. There's the news. So it popped up, and now they're selling it down. That's the Tech 100 on your on the J4X, and now it's, you know, just moving down a little bit. Over here, this is the Dow Jones Industrial Average. You know, right here is, where's the news at? The news was basically right there. They sold it down, and now they're lifting it up. So the old industrial stocks seem to have caught the eye of this whole action. Now here is the S&P 500, which is a global index. Whoa, where did I do that? Let's move that back up again. Whoa, that's not right either. There we are. And so the S&P 500 got the news right there. Yes, right there. And they sold it down, tried to lift it back up to the flat area, and now it's in a triangle. I mean, you know how you used to do that webinar about, or you did the video on how to trade the fundamentals? Look at these 3 indices. Not one of them is joining in with the other. They're all doing something separate. Is the silver quant lifting? It was lifting before the news. Let's see what it's doing now. It really is showing some life into it over the last. Didn't close in a daily buy. Only gold did last night. Let's see, where's it at? It is right, not there. It is right there. Okay, here we go. We'll send you into that direction. That's a good one. That is a good one. And you can see here, there's the gold. Gold is still holding up. And then, let's see, there it is right there. And then here is the silver. Where's the silver at? Right there. See, the silver is holding up too, and now it's climbing into the daily buy right there. But our weeklies are not moving. You know, I mean, they are moving, but not enough. Now we're seeing signals that the weekly wants to take off, especially with the gas 5 versus the gas line 5, and same thing with the gold. Gold is showing that's crude oil. Crude oil jumped on that too, but you can see here it's taking a lot of work to get the metals to get going in there. No, no, no. The volatility seems to be set. You know, I mean, I think we have a volatility. Let's see where the volatility index is in the States here right now. I know I have it on one of these screens. There it is, right there. And that is the action. Where's the action? That's yesterday. So they're not updating it yet. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, so it's set for the pre-market. I would imagine there's some quotas going on in there. Let's see if we can get an update on this thing. There we go. No, they're not showing any. They knocked it down yesterday, and you can see the weekly is trying to turn up in here. We had a nice little buy signal right before the big move before, and it took a while to get it out of that. You know, but it wouldn't get into the weekly buy. That's the problem there. So volatility is really not jumping. You know, middle, it really is trying. You know, it really is trying. You can see it right here. It is really trying. And, you know, Robin and I are thinking that we're going to jump in on it ourselves because it has that look like it wants to make a run, at least up into the 26.5 area. And that's really what we're watching for at the moment. And same thing, look at gold. There you go, middle. Check this out. Check out the gold. Gold is on a second day in a buy now. But these weeklies just can't get going. They just can't get going. And you know, I would be happy just what Janos asked for, and that was the volatility. If the volatility would get going, then we would know we have something going on here. Or the Fed is so good now they can control everything. They can control the option volatility since they're not competing with the volatility funds anymore. They can control the metals markets because no one can afford to trade 50,000 or 100,000 contracts the way they do. You know, I mean, they just seem to have, the Fed now has basically full control. If they want gold to go up, it'll go up. If they want it to go down, it'll go down. And, you know, there's just not enough gold funds out there to overpower the Federal Reserve. Whereas when you look at something like let's take a look at Bitcoin. What are they doing with Bitcoin? See, I really think that in many ways the crypto assets are like a view of how people are concerned. You know, now you can see here something's being really weird with this, but let's see what the back month looks like. Where is it at? Right there. So there's August, and now out of nowhere they've got these things in sells today. But you can see the weekly is holding up. So I'm really I'm convinced that this means something here, and what they're doing to this is strange as all get out. A short-term pop, yeah, me too. That's what we're talking about. That's exactly it. Another hurdle. That's right, Robin. It's another hurdle. It really feels like another hurdle. I really think the metals complex wants to take off. You know, a problem is I also know that there's just not enough funds out there. Will the Fed let them take it up a little bit? Maybe just to shake up the stock market a little bit in August, and this way they can allow funds to buy it cheaper. I don't know, something like that. It just seems like that, you know. I think that's what it really comes down to. It's a real challenge at this point when you have. It's not like you're fighting with the New York specialists, and you're not fighting with the at the New York Stock Exchange. You're not fighting with mutual funds and hedge funds. You're not battling with those types anymore. Now we just deal with the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is everything. And we're looking at the same thing. We're thinking that silver wants to pop, and we should try to jump on it. That's the way we look at it. I really would be a heck of a lot happier if it was turning up. what did I want to do? I wanted to go over to something else on the metals complex that Robin and I talked about this morning. Here it is right here. And that's ExxonMobil. Let's see, let's copy this. I want to put the SLV ETF up, because the SLV ETF can be it can be a real insightful product. You know, a lot of times the ETFs take off like a week ahead of the metals, the raw metals. It does that a lot. I've seen that throughout the decades. So let's see if we can put that up there and see what they're doing with that. Let's see. SLV. There it is. Do it there. SLV. And then let's change what you're seeing so you can see what I'm seeing. There we are. And close. Let's see what's going on here. Let's see if we can get this to update. And what we'll do is we will drift back over to currencies for a little bit and let it work. But I want to see where the ETF is. If the ETF is flirting with the weekly buy, then I looked at it in Nugget. I looked at it in something else, and it was showing strength. We're seeing strength in some places. Robin says Eagles are $37 today. Do you? Yeah, I find sometimes it leads. You know, money comes into that faster, it seems like. Let's see what we got going on here. Let's see. I'll have to double check that. Why is that not allowing me to do that? Let's see, where am I at? Oh, it's still calculating. Okay, here we go. I'll let it keep on calculating. Let me just check the internals of this thing too. How about if we try just regular trading hours to start off with? See how this does. Still nothing there. I think that's going to be our insight. I don't want to try to open up anything else. There. Oh yeah, here you go. Here is the gold ETF, right? The GLD, and it's flirting. 2 weeks ago it went into a buy here. It's showing a lot more life than the metals. You know, the metal itself. And then, went into a daily sell here, and it fell into the weekly by a hair. And now it's doing it again. It's bouncing. It's kind of like the way your coffee went, middle. It's doing that same thing, bouncing again. So we're thinking that silver might be doing the same exact thing. Nothing yet. Let's see if we can do it. We'll let it work for a while. Usually it fills in, so we're going to keep an eye on that. But that you can see that there with the gold ETF, it's showing life in it. It's back over to weekly buy number again, and we're seeing that strength. And so I keep on thinking that we're going to see some real buying again, and that would be really nice. There's a lot of gold investors out there that are begging for some type of return of asset, some type of value. I mean, it's been tough, for the metals players, because how many times have I said this year, if you had told me the circumstances that we're in with the government and the Federal Reserve, I would assume that gold would be at 3,000 at least, if not 5,000. and had maybe even touched 10,000 in some strange panic. But, at this point, it can't even get through the 2100 area or the 2000 area and survive much. Same thing with silver. I mean, silver went to 51, and here we are trading at 26. I mean, 50% all-time highs. I mean, that's pretty bad. That shows not a lot of support. Now, the question is, who's not giving it a lot of support? The Federal Reserve? Because we know that Robin just said he's seeing Silver Eagles trading at 37.64, which is $11 over the futures contract. Now, it's really hard to believe. Let's see, let's go to here. It's really hard to believe. Do that. It is. It's really hard to believe that they can carry that much of a premium, compared to the metal. I mean, I don't see them as any collectible that much. I mean, it has to be an incredible collectible. Let's see, I'm getting the itch to buy some DEC silver calls, but was waiting on the weekly. Yeah, me too. I've been watching you say that, and I've been thinking, Robin and I talk about it all the time. Robin has identified like 3 good reasons why everybody should try to step up and play it. But the problem is that it just has not happened. That's what the problem is. And that's the most irritating thing of all, is that we are not seeing that action that we want. We are just not getting it. And there's no way to deal with that, more than just to buy it and hope. I mean, that is really what it comes down to. And that's not the way to make money, Was not the way to make money. And so, at this point, the only thing we can do is, hope. And that's not a way to trade. You just can't hope. Hope doesn't do it. Paper versus physical silver. Yeah, how does it carry a 33%, premium, or what's that? Like a 50% premium, really? I mean, that's a hefty premium. Let's see if we got SLV filling in. I'm not sure why it's not. Oh, there it is. It's filled in. All right. Yeah, that's it. SLV. And let's see. What do we do here? We move that out of the way. That's back here, really. So went into the sell here. Did it make it into the buy there? I don't think it did. Let's see. Let's look at it. You can see it in the box. Plot 1 was minus 0.01. Plot 4 was minus 0.03. So it didn't get into the buy. Now on the daily, it's following. Let's see. Where's it at? Move that out of the way. Right there. And the sell was right there. And was that a buy for a day? That was a buy for a day. It popped up, and it was a winner. And before you knew it, by the day it closed, you were taking your profit and running. And then there's another buy right there, and that was good too. And then the sell was right there. Boy, that was instant gratification, wasn't it? Got short there. The next day, major gap down. And then, let's see, there's a buy there. And let's see, buy there. And a sell there. And then let's put this over here. There's your sell. And then, let's see, there is your, so that sells there. Let's move that over here for a moment. Oh, there's your buy again right there. Let's put that in there. The buys have been nice on the SLV, really. Look at that. That's it's dealing with the weekly very well in the sense that the sells have been really good shorts, and the buys have been. And I guess if we can get some life into this now, let's see what the pre-market. Let's see what this is doing now. That's yesterday. So let's see what today is bringing now that we've got it updating. Oh yeah, look at the gap up, but this is not moving yet. And then let's do the same thing with the weekly. See what it's doing to the weekly. Has the weekly started to move up with it? We'll see in a second. There it is. Yeah, look at that. Look how close it is now. It's showing this action right here. And so 23.69. Where can it go? Can it go back up to 24.5? 24.70? You know, that type of thing. Oh, you can't see. Yeah, you can see it now, though, right? Yeah. So we're really thinking about this really hard. We're really wanting to jump in on this. To us, this is the opportunity that might be out there. And that's the. I wonder if the VIX is updated. Let's take a look and see if the VIX is updated. Is that it right there? No, let's drop down here. Let's check out the VIX. VIX is updated and it's not going anywhere. That's the problem. It's flat and down. The volatility is actually dropping right now as we speak. Let me show you that. Show you that. So that was what Giannis was spotting right off from the beginning, is that the weakness is there, you know, in the volatility. It's just not there. I see September silver, not silver SLV. Yeah, no, that's SLV. That's SLV right here. Let me just put it back up there. That's SLV. Let's see, where's that at? There it is. Oh, no, that's the VIX. There's the VIX. Okay, there it is. And then, see, it's not doing anything right now. There it is. And then, let's go back to that. And that is silver right there. That's SLV. Let's put that in there, too. There you go. That's SLV. Save workspace. Save workspace as. There we go. Yeah, so that's the SLV. I think the SLV is much more. Actually, it seems a lot better than trading the actual silver. Probably because it's paper. Because it's paper. You know, maybe the Federal Reserve doesn't really care as much, so they can let the SLV drift. That may be the answer, because look at this. Let me go back to this one, which does catch my eye. I have not followed these for a long while, but check out gold, the gold ETF. The gold ETF's the same way. You know, it's a much better trading product than the actual gold contract. Maybe paper is just a better product, you know, to trade for the little squiggles here and there. And so, let's see, let's go with this. Let's go back to where are we at now. So yes, that's the metals complex there. All right, what should we go? Now what we do is, after we've looked at all this, let's just look at one other thing, and that is the crude oil, and then we'll jump back over to the currencies again and see what's going on with there. And I want to put the SLV back in that spot. Activate. There it is. So that's the answer to that one. Now let's just take a look at crude oil. Let's see, where's that? There is. There's crude oil. Not that's the VIX, but there's crude oil right there. It's showing the strength here as Canadian is going down. That's usually the way it rolls. And at the same time, you can see this weekly has been carrying really well since the 65 area. It doesn't want to let go, and we've been up to 75. Now, normally, in normal financial times, going back before 2008, before QE, boy, the Obama era has been one big fun time, hasn't it? And he got elected, and the markets just collapsed at the same time. Just at the same time. Bang. I mean, bang. And what we're seeing now is crude oil is definitely been all over the place. You know, we've been down to minus, and gold has been kind of, you know, following it in some way. Obviously not minus, but, you know, went down to the 1,000 mark from a 2,000 high, and now, or it was like 1980 high or 1990 high. Didn't hit, almost missed the 2,000. Then this last run, you know, gold has made it to the 2,100 area, and oil at the time was like at $35, and it lifted with it. It started to lift, but you know, both these products are going all over the place. They used to be so much more connected. They were definitely much more productive together. Now we don't see that at all. It's just a constant wild swing going on in there. Let's see, Middle Age says, now I can see it. Okay, excellent. What else we got going on here? So now let's take a look at, where do we go? Oh, let's go back to the ruble and see what's going on with the ruble. And the ruble, right, where's it at? Right there. On the fact check spreadsheet, you can see it's in a sell. And there it is there. It's been in a sell for this little slide that's going on. But we're stuck in a weekly buy, so we've got to wait and see what's going to go with that. And at the same time, that weekly buy started off in this area down in here, and now we are basically back where it started from. And it closed up into here. Let's see, where's it? The actual close was, let's see, there's the 9th, there's the 8th, there's the 5th. So the close was right here. The 6th? Yeah, 6th, 7th, 8th. I guess. Yeah, so 2nd, I guess that would be it, I guess, right there. So that was the close on the end of that week, was it? Where is it at? The 2nd is the close of that week. Or I guess that must be that. So this was the close here. And so we're definitely below where it closed in a weekly buy. And it's been pretty much almost the whole time in a sell. I mean, in a sell, and not allowed you to be in a buy, which is, you know, keeps you in the neutral. So you're missing the whole, you're not missing anything because this thing can't find a way to give you a clear direction. And that's what the problem is with the ruble right now. Let's drift over to, from the ruble we go to the yen, see what's going on in the yen. Right there. Yen is in a daily sell for a few days here. A little volatility signal going on at the moment. And it's trying to get into a weekly sell. It's been in a weekly sell all week long, and it looks like it's going to confirm it with a close. We got one more day. That's usually indicative of showing that the dollar is going down. It's pretty much the clear point. No wonder we're below the weekly number in the dollar ETF, and at the same time in a daily sell already in that product. Now we'll drift over to South African Rand, which is used to be up until Mr. Zuma got crazy with the laws. And let's check out South African Rand. But at this point, I think the South African Rand is moving more towards the Zuma situation. There you go there. Finally indicating some strength. You know, as this goes down, usually gold goes up in value. So we have to even take that silver idea even more serious because this is trying to move down. And yesterday it went into the sell. It closed in the sell yesterday. See it right there. Now we just need the weekly to roll over. And the Zuma situation is probably holding the weekly very firm. Then we slide over to the Mexican peso right there. And you can see here pressure is on. And we're in the sells. You can see the weekly is trying to turn up. So we've got daily sells going on for 4 full days now. Let's put a line in there. Nope, not there. Right there. So that's where the sell has been. Let's just move this over instead of getting rid of it, in case it gives us one of those days where it's plus. And so you can see here, with this flirting with a weekly buy, this may not break down in here and it may just turn back up again. Now, it hasn't had much of a range to begin with, so that's a very good thing for the country and, you know, for the product itself. Let's see, so we've done South African Rand, we've done Ruble, we've done Mexican Peso. Well, there's a fourth one we do out of this. Oh, Yen, we did the Yen too, so we've done the 4 there. Anybody wants to see anything else in the currency arena, let us know. We will throw it up there. And then now we'll go over to, let's check out the stock indices and see what's going on there. Let's see, right. Just the intraday thing we can get a flavor of. You can see here, Dow Jones, yeah, that's the S&P 500, still holding up relatively firm. This is an intraday chart. So we are now flirting with, as you can see here, since last night and yesterday, we are at the highs. You know, this is where it closed in New York in this area here. And you can see we are higher up, and it shows there it's up almost 10 full points. Then when we drift over to the Dow Jones Industrial Average, right there, same situation, showing lots of strength from yesterday. And that is up 152 points. And then we drift over to the NQs. And these are, this is a little scratch my head. You can see here the product which was way down last night, down in this area, compared to where it settled. You know, it settled right in here. They sold it down going into the Asian hours, or the beginning of the Asian hours, and then from the beginning of the Asian hours they just started lifting it and driving it back up, and it got up there, and now they seem to be flirting more of on the downside. You know, it seems like that or this is going to be like the big A, B, C, you know, A, B, C. It's actually a 5-way when you really look at it. There's a 1, there's a 2, there's a 3, there's your 4, there's your 5, and now you're doing actually 5 waves down, which is interesting. And now you're ABCing, and this could be the A, the B, and we get one more sell-off, and then it turns up. That would be the way I would kind of think it might happen. So a little bit more selling, and then it turns up, because these stock indices don't seem to want to go down, that's for sure. And as you can see there, it's down 17 points. So you've got the S&P 500 up 10 points right there. You've got the Dow Jones Industrial Average up 150 points right there. And then you've got the NASDAQ, or the Tech 100 from Dukascopy, down. You know, let's see, let's show you that. They also have the S&P 500 in their trading platform. So here it is right there. So there's there is the Dow Jones Industrial Average, showing all its glory and strength. And that's curious. Look at that, the weight away. Now that's very interesting. Oh, there it is. That's better. Cleaned itself up. So right there, you can see it's still holding up pretty strong in here. Then what do? We can jump over to S&P 500 on a daily basis, right there. Saying, oh, look at that, trying to show weakness also. It's trying to dip down also at the same time, just like our work is. We're in daily sells. We are actually in daily sells in these products. Let's see, and then the last one is the Tech 100 right here. And this is probably red. This must be red because I've been, yep, see the red there. Now they're trying to put a little green into it. Now when we go over to my Chicago Quant, you're going to see basically the same exact thing. Let's see, where is that at? That is the bottom one, right? So we go like this. And right there is, we'll do the same sequence too. There's the Dow Jones Industrial Average. You see we are in a mild little sell right there. Let's widen that out. But notice, look at the weekly. The weekly's so strong, and it barely did anything, and it's up right there, and there's nothing going on at the moment. Then looking at the S&P 500 right there, same situation, giving us a volatility decision right there, red and green. At the same time, you can see this is the second day with it minus. But look at the weekly. These things are telling you not to take these short trades. That's the problem. And then, last but not least, the Tech 100 or NASDAQ 100. You can see right there, just minus by a very short little, point. And you can see the weakness here. We do see the green line trying to break the nonlinear time manifold, the yellow line on the top, but not really getting a lot of action out of that. All right, and so that is the action we're seeing in the equity markets. So, and I guess, when you're going to keep interest rates low, you have no choice but to buy stocks. That's pretty much what it's all about. Because the funds have to follow their template, what they're incorporated, their manifesto. They have to follow. When interest rates are low like that, they have to respect the opportunity to buy. The dividends start to compete with the bonds. So in other words, you own the stock, you sell some calls, you buy some puts, do it through binary strategy or some type of thing like that. And next thing you know is you're locking in the dividend. And that's what the whole name of the game is when you're investing, is the idea is to make money. And as you can see there, now the NASDAQ 100 is finding a way to lift a little bit. Nothing meaningful. This thing can go up or down 3 or 4 points in a heartbeat. So, I mean, it's minus 14 versus being minus 17. Not exactly a screamer there. All right. And I'd say let's go back and take a look at the SLV and see what they're doing with that. If I can figure out where I put it. I think I put it right there. And there's the SLV. No movement in it. I'll let you see it. Seems to be locked in its little range there now. Nice thing is that we're seeing a weekly try to get some life in it. Now this weekly has only been in the sell for 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 weeks, whereas on the futures contract, you can see it has been in a weekly sell for, where's it at? It's right there. 11 weeks in a weekly sell. It's a big difference. That's a big difference. And we've seen this happen before where the ETFs show life and the metals do not, and you wonder, oh, what's wrong here? And then when the two join in together, oh joy, you get joy out of that, that's for sure. There's usually some really good profit, action out of that. So that is the action we're seeing at the moment. Now let's drift over to, where do we go from there? Is there a pairs trade we need to look at? Oh, let's see what coffee's doing for you. There's coffee today. They got it knocked down. But the weeklies doesn't care. The weekly has no respect for that whatsoever. Look at that. Those weeklies are just so firm. And same thing with your tags. There's the tags. Tags went into a buy here. Couldn't get into the sell there because of the red and the green. And now it's back up again today. So you can see the strength. Oh, that's yesterday. Let's see if we can get a control R in this and see if it will update more. Nothing yet. Tags is not moving yet. But the weekly is rocketing. Look at the way the weekly is rocketing. I'll just contract that down a little bit. That'd be interesting to just take a look at. I mean, you can tell from the histogram how high it is. Look at that. And let's go back and see when's the last time it was up there. Okay, there you go. So back in April, when it made that push into the, what was that, the 27.5 area. And where is it at now? It's at 25.86. I guess inflation is the way. And you can see it in the food. I mean, look at the the thing that's caught my eye, I keep on talking about it each day with a friend. Where's it at? Right there, the cattle. You know, meat. You can see, also at the same time, you can see the wheat is showing life in itself today again, even with it trying to fight with itself. The weekly is really screaming in there. But look at the cattle. Look what they're pricing April cattle of next year. This is not dressed with, you know, another, not butchered. They call it dressed when you're butchered. But this is on the hoof, trading at $139.80. So it's, you know, it's really holding up in there. You know, and then when you go back and just look at December, check out the December contract. It's about 5 cents cheaper. I mean, there's an actual cost of carry to the back months. Where's it at? There it is, right there. And that's $1.33.5. So that's a 6 cent difference a pound. And then you take a look at the August contract that's getting ready to expire. Where is it? August cattle right there. Trading at 123. So there's a 16 cent discount at delivery for August. And let's just see what OCT looks like. I imagine it's like 125. October, right there. 128. So there's a 5 cent premium in the back months. They're concerned they're not going to be able to get meat, obviously. So they're buying the back months. That's what you call inflation, all right. And I guess you would keep on hoping. So they're trading it at 23 and change. Basically, right now, October, they've got it 5 cents a pound higher. And in December, they've got it another 5 cents higher. And in April, they've got it 6 cents higher. So, you know, meat's not getting any cheaper in the supermarkets. And bread, you know, when you look at wheat, right there, there's September wheat. You know, it's trading in the 6.55 area? 6.95. It's almost $7 a bushel. So it was just almost $6 a bushel, no more than at the beginning of July. You see it right there. It was trading at 6.09 in July as a low. Right? And now it has run as high as 7.17 in less than 4 weeks. So there is inflation, and that's just the breads. When you go and look at the like the cakes and so forth, the Kansas City wheat or the Minneapolis wheat in September, you know, it's trading at its highs of the last 3 months, and it's trading also right underneath the $7 area. In this case here, it's trading at 669.50 is the high today. So there is inflation, and the Federal Reserve, just like when we look at crude oil, $75 compared to. Now what's curious is like lumber. They took lumber back down again. Where's that at? Let's go find the lumber. I'll use this mouse. No, that's it, not it, right there. And the lumber right here, I mean, we've seen it go from $16 a board foot down to, well, that contract expired. This contract, the November contract, you know, is trading at 605 now, and it got up into the like the 14s. It was discounted by 2. Okay, so it was $2 off the previous contract. So this thing has dropped over 50% in board foot. Now housing prices had exploded from that, and we're probably seeing that, you know, in the GDP and all. But overall, the action is really pointing in that direction there. All right, traders, what else can we talk about here today? I think we've hit all the buttons. The bigger question is, what do we call this particular webinar. I mean, really, we looked very deeply. I think it's a metals webinar today with the GBP and the Swiss. I think that both have really made the case that they are important factors going on right now, and that people need to pay attention to them. You know, they're definitely, especially with this inflation thing. You know, looking at the cost of food, it just showed you, cattle. I mean, normally this time of the year it's 87 cents a pound, 88, 92. We've seen it down into the 68, 70 cent area, but not of late. Definitely not of late. It doesn't do that. So let's see. That's, I guess we got to figure out is what is the title today. There we go. Oops. Trying to figure out where to put it. There it is. Title. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to call this Swiss franc GBP silver, or GBP silver. How about that? Or silver. I think that would be the key right there. Silver, Swiss, and how about the euro? The euro is showing some life in it, so we might call it the euro too. And that's the title today, traders. Alrighty, this is Doc from North America. We will catch you all tomorrow. Tomorrow is TGIF. And be safe, be smart out there. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our Dukascopy friends. Ta-ta, traders.